Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 3. It seems that our warrior appears are out of places to explore, so we're going to go ahead and end our turn. And with that, we've actually finished the switch of governments. So corruption is now slightly less of a problem, and our production rates have gone up considerably. The squares, like this square for example, was producing 2 food before, now it's gone up to 3. Likewise, other squares that would otherwise be limited to at most 2 of any one type of resource are now had that restriction lifted. So our production is quite a bit higher. We've also developed some rather large cities, so we're going to have to start worrying about unhappiness in a number of them. Fortunately, our various luxury resources are going to help combat that. And generally we're doing pretty well, I would say. But we've also just about run out of land to, we've just about reached the maximum number of good cities we can build. We might actually be able to sneak one in there if we wanted to, but it's going to be pretty vulnerable, I would say, so probably not a good idea. And it seems the Mayans have completed the pyramids. What the pyramids are is they're one of the great wonders of the world, and they give a special bonus to whoever possesses it. Now, the thing about Great Wonders is that they take a long time to build, and there can only be one of each Great Wonder in the game. So, if you happen to be building one and someone else finishes it first, you have to switch to something else. You don't lose any shields that way, but as a general rule, especially if you're new to the game, try to avoid the wonders in the early ages. This is because people tend to rely on building the wonders, and not only does it mean that they become less effective at managing their cities, they also tend to get put behind in other forms of production. So where it might be a good idea to maybe have one city producing a wonder, someone might have something more like 3 or 4 cities producing wonders, and they might try to get every single wonder in the game. Now that's not really necessary, but the pyramids are one of the better wonders in the game because it's a while before they become obsolete. Actually, I'm not exactly sure when they become obsolete. Let me check. They become obsolete with... Oh, they don't become obsolete, that's right. Anyway, what they do is they add 1 granary in every city on the continent, and they never become obsolete, so they're rather good. They can also trigger a golden age for industrious, religious, and agricultural civilizations. Now, I don't know how many wonders we're going to build in this game, but we may end up capturing some from the enemies when we conquer their cities. I don't think there's any wonders we really want just yet. The Hanging Gardens aren't too bad. The Oracle isn't the greatest because it becomes obsolete fairly quickly. And the Temple of Artemis isn't the greatest either. We may try building the Hanging Gardens, but chances are someone has probably already gotten a head start on that, so it might not be such a good idea. We finished a worker here, and we're going to send him out to those furs to pick those up for our civilization. And this worker here is going to continue developing the land for Sardis. This guy's going to help Samaria, and I think he's going to start by building irrigation on that floodplain over there. We're going to retreat this warrior back to our back to the interior of our country, and this worker is going to develop that land over there for Kazagarde. We were going to put a settler down there. I don't know where we're building one. I don't think we're building one anywhere just yet. So we'll set Persepolis to start building a settler to send over there. And this worker is going to head back and develop that land. I think this one will as well. And seems the Russians have expanded fairly well, as have the Egyptians. Though the Egyptians are still at 7 cities. They're probably going to stick 1 or 2 more in and around here, but they'll have to fight with the Russians over that. We're probably going to put down maybe 2 more cities, I think. That's about it. I don't think we're going to go much further than that. We could probably stick one in here if we really wanted to, but it's pretty far from our capital, so I don't think we're going to bother. We've got a decent amount of immortals so far, and I think what Gordium is going to do is it's going to start building immortals as well, though its production isn't the greatest. You can also see that it's suffering from a lot of corruption, and it's also halted its growth. This is because it doesn't have enough food to sustain its population. So what we're going to do is we're going to send a worker down there to start irrigating that area and get it growing again. Meanwhile, we are continuing to build immortals, and we really need to decide who it is we're going to be attacking. We don't really stand to gain much from either civilization, I don't think. Heliopolis might be a decent city if we capture it, or at least destroy it and put one of our own cities there. So I think we'll probably start with the Egyptians, but we're definitely going to wait until they've developed their civilization a bit more. And we're also going to build roads out to wherever it is we're going to be attacking. So I think one of the major points of attack is going to be Gordium, and we'll start by attacking from that little source of iron there. And we're also going to attack from Samaria, I think, into Elephantine, and I guess we might attack from Sardis as well. So once this guy's done building up Samaria, I think he's going to build a road out to Elephantine so we can attack from there. And hopefully by then the Egyptians will have connected all their cities up by roads to make it easier for us to move around their territory once we've conquered it. Again, you probably want to wait until a city is at least a bit of population and maybe even a bit of culture before you attack it. This is to make sure that you have enough or rather the city is captured rather than destroyed, because if a city doesn't have any population or culture, then it tends to get destroyed rather than get captured, which is generally a pretty bad thing. You don't really want that to happen. If you're going to take all the time to attack a city, you really want to conquer it, not just destroy it. We're still suffering from quite a bit of corruption, unfortunately, but at the moment there's nothing we can really do about that. But hope it'll right itself out eventually. I think we're only looking at one more settler after that one, so we can soon start focusing on military pursuits. And it looks like they're going to try to beat us to the punch with that city, but fortunately our settler is already on the way. Or at least I think it was. Wasn't it? Could have sworn we already built a settler somewhere. But I don't see him. And we don't really want them to build anything up there, so I think what we're going to do is guarantee that we get that spot, because I just noticed their settler coming up here. So I'm going to switch production to a settler in Gordium, and well, let's see here. What can we do to slow them down? Well, we can move our immortal to there to stop them from going through. And we can hurry production of our own settler. And we'll also move this spearman out to create a blockade. And that'll keep their settler from moving up there for the time being. That should be a good enough stopgap solution to make sure that we get that pretty good spot up here. They won't actually be able to make use of that spot, even if they did manage to get a hold of it, because it's so far from their capital that city won't ever be productive for anything. But I think our civilization is the largest in the game at the moment, by a fair margin, at least in terms of cities. We might not have much overall land, but we're making better use of the land. Much better use of the land we do have. And our little blockade there has also discouraged their advance, so good on us for that. Now we're going to build a mine here where that city is going to be placed, and this settler is going to head up there to plop down our city. We're going to build an irrigation there to help Gordium continue to grow, since it's ground to a halt in that regard. We're a bit behind in technology, but we'll start catching up pretty soon once we get the proper tech for doing so. Cities are also becoming very productive, and Antioch has grown to a size 7 city, so it's now a bit larger than all of our other ones. We're going to start building immortals in all of our existing cities, I think, and might even want to consider building a few wonders soon. The Mausoleum of Masalos is a fairly easy wonder to build, and but it doesn't do very much for you, unfortunately. It only makes 3 unhappy citizens content in the city it's built, so that's not really that great. We're going to start building a few temples around to get our culture up and our borders to expand.